I've been inundated in the comments that Stone Toss released a recent meme where he actually ended up taking a big L. And looking at the panel, I understand why those people would say that. But it's interesting to point out that the reason I'm making this video is not to attack on Stone Thoughts, but is to attack this particular argument, which I have seen it being said time and time again, especially by the left. And of course, left-leaning people require double the panels in order to make the same joke. But it also appeared in various publications and magazines. And this is happening in a time where there is a lot of encouragement that in order to save the environment, to save Mother Gaia, you have to eat the bugs. And also, interestingly enough, certain vegans are also suggesting to eat the bugs. I don't really get the vegan argument though, because if you are to protect the life of the animals, surely the life of a cow is not as important as the life of hundreds of thousands of the bugs. But what do I know? Right. Also, interestingly, I don't see the people at the World Economic Forum or high-ranking politician, Chairman Xi, eating the bugs. Because one argument is the bugs are being eaten in Asia and in other places, and it's due to white supremacy that Europeans do not want to touch the bugs. And I do understand that argument, but I am yet to see Chairman Xi being offered the bugs at one of these prestigious dinners when he comes to Europe, right? But anyway, right, the argument is that people already eat the bugs when it comes to shrimps, but they do not want to eat the bugs when it comes to the burger. And I gotta say, the idea of eating the bugs doesn't come presented as necessarily as a choice, right? Like some people can choose to eat the shrimp. But the idea of eating the bugs is like something that we will all have to do in order to take one for the team. And they're presenting it as it's going to be one of the main options of food. Now, even the people who like seafood and even the people who like shrimps, I haven't seen them eat them constantly. Right? Like the idea of shrimp is presented almost like a delicacy that maybe you eat once or twice a week, but you're not expected to have like an entire diet of shrimp. And the reason I personally do not like shrimp and I do not like seafood in general is precisely that there was a time in my life when I ate a lot of it, and you get sick. Not I get sick as in, like actual pathological sick, but you get sick of them. Like they become disgusting after a while. I don't know why. Like maybe it's just me, but I genuinely feel that way. Like if you have to eat them constantly, like for the first 2 days they're good and they're nice, but after a while they become like, ugh, I have to eat this again, right? So that's one of the things. I expect with the bugs it may be the same, especially because the bugs contain a substance called chitin, which some people may even be allergic to it. Like we do not know what mass consumption of the bugs would even have, because a lot of people have never ate the bugs in their entire lifetime. Of course, it's also a mental thing. Like certain people do not like the presentation, the aspect of the bugs, just like they don't like the aspect of the shrimps. I know a lot of people who like eating seafood, but they do not like to actually sit there and watch the whole preparation of it. So that's something you need to take into account. But the more important one is like, okay, so like if one person likes one type of animal, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to like the other, right? I mean, if a person likes to eat pork, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to like to eat lamb. I mean, there's people who like to eat a type of cheese, but may dislike a different type of cheese. The idea of taste is very subjective, right? Like you can't really talk about hypocrisy when you're discussing how people choose to eat their food, or what type of food they prefer. It's like, well, you like cucumbers, but you don't like pickles. That's a little bit hypocritical of you. You can't really do that. I mean, you can, but it kind of comes off as ridiculous, doesn't it? And it's also a little bit demeaning, right? Like when you look at seafood, some of the most expensive restaurants, and you see some of the most proeminent people in the world, they go and they eat seafood. But I have yet to see the same people eating the bugs. So there is indeed like a level of social stigma. You may say that it's a little bit of bigotry or whatever. But it exists, right? It's a little bit demeaning, I would say. But if you really want to talk about the more important aspects, and due to this, a lot of social scientists will conclude that it's cultural. And while it does have like some cultural ramifications, I would point out that you can go to human history and places when there were famines or hungers, like for example the Holodomor, the place where my grandmother used to come wasn't part of Ukraine, but it was very bad there as well. Like the Red Army came in, they confiscated all of the farm animals, all of the grain, allowed people to just starve. So in order to survive, a lot of people had to resort in order to eat almost everything they could, including zibugs. But guess what? The moment that the famine went away, right? Like the moment that there was food again, they stopped eating zibugs. So if zibugs are delicious and nutritious, you would think that the people would continue to consume them. Like you would think that due to this famine, due to this issue, that they would have developed various methods of cooking them, right? But it clearly is something else. It is I guess like part of the human nutrition that we can survive on eating the bugs, but it's something that we don't prefer. Meanwhile, seafood, a lot of people, they eat seafood once and they like it, and then they want to eat it again and again. So the taste may be different. I do not know if the shrimps and the crickets have similar taste, or if they provide the same nutritional value. But at the end of the day, I do not think that the comparison is apt in any way. I mean, the whole idea is like, well, people don't want to eat the bugs because they're icky and crawly. I mean, maybe that is part of it, and I'm sure like if you turn it into a paste and it just looks like a normal hamburger, like people will get over that. But that is not the only issue why people would choose to eat shrimp and they wouldn't eat the crickets. I think like the main issue has to do with the taste. The second type of issue has to do with the nutritional value, the substances in it. And of course, like no one expects people to constantly eat shrimp. Like I've yet to see a person that eats seafood every single day. I'm pretty sure they are, but they're probably quite rare, right? And it's also the matter of choice. Like this is the biggest one that's coming, from the people that are against the World Economic Forum, whatever they're pushing for this. It's a matter of choice. Like it seems like you're going to be forced, right? Like they want to remove all the alternatives. They want to make the meat to be actually very expensive. Like you're going to have to pay for carbon tax and carbon credits in order to have access to regular meat. And the food of the poor, basically, the food of the peasant is going to be that of the books, which does come with a cultural stigma. And I think like that is the main reason why people are pointing out that Stone Toss took an L. It's not due to the hypocrisy, but it's more like people are against the fact that the choice is being robbed. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.